Well, in case you haven't noticed, it's been raining females this season, from Ase Brume to Toby Amushon, to also the latest UK Prime Minister, Elizabeth Truss. Now, University of Lagos isn't left out, as it announced its first female Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Folashade Ogunsola. Today, we are in our office, like you can say, it's a special edition of News Review. But what makes this edition extra special is that it coincides with International Day of the Girl Child. Our time is now, our right and our future. Today we have the privilege of speaking with the first female Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Folashade Ogunsola. My name is Adebola Adediba. We will be right back. Welcome back. It's still the special edition of News Review. Please feel free to follow us across all our social media platforms at UNILAG on TV. Like I said earlier, we have the special privilege of speaking with the first female Vice Chancellor, Professor Folashade Ogunsola. Congratulations, Professor Folashade Ogunsola, and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
But let's even start by, saying this. This is not your first stint in management. You have been the provost of the College of Medicine, the pioneer of development services of University of Lagos, and now the first female Vice Chancellor of University of Lagos. These must sure have a different feel. How does it really feel?
Feels awesome, but it also feels heavy. It's a lot of responsibility.
And I'm sure you're up to the task.
I suppose so.
All right, the outgoing Vice Chancellor, Professor Tolulope Okundikpe, focused heavily on research to an extent that we had lots and lots of research grants. For your own term in office, what would be your focus?
Well, I think any Vice Chancellor coming in would have to focus on research. It's the backbone of what we do. However, in addition to that, because I'm going to build further on that, because we haven't got to where we're going yet,
Right.
I'm also going to focus a lot on upskilling the staff, both faculty and non-teaching staff. We're in a knowledge economy. The university is only as good as the knowledge base of its staff. So we need to really invest in our staff if we're going to have sustainable growth.
Right.
There is a tendency to focus on students.
Okay.
Students come and they go. If we do a lot of investing in staff, then the students come and they meet quality staff. So I really want to focus a lot on staff.
Okay. I'd like to touch a little bit on that. When you say upskilling for staff members, give me a glimpse as to what you really mean.
Well, for the faculty, what we do as a university is to generate knowledge.
Right.
So we need to build competencies around this. It's something you can teach. And in generating knowledge, it means they're really soft skills, as well as making sure that they have access to more information. Okay. But building their skills around creativity, developing their confidence in their own ideas. Part of, when we talk about decolonizing education,
right.
Part of the problems that we have is that people have lost the confidence of thinking differently, of thinking and not waiting for validation from the global north.
Right.
We need to start recognizing where we're coming from and build on that, because that's what makes us unique. So there'll be a lot of work in that area. We also have the issue of people have talents. They're multi-talented. We have an entrepreneurship center and skills development. So we will be developing skills that are a little more tangible, that would allow lecturers and students to have multiple streams of income.
Right.
But a lot of what I'm talking about is around the knowledge economy. And then for the non-teaching, we need to professionalize the non-teaching. The requirements in a university are very different from in a ministry. So we want to do a little bit more around that area.
Now, I like you mentioned talents. University of Lagos is a melting pot of various sound minds. We have no excuse really not to be the 21st university, ideal university. But what's your vision or mission in ensuring this comes to a concrete reality?
Well, there are many things that we need to do.
Okay.
First of all, there are lots that's been done. So there'll be a consolidation of what's already occurred. And a lot of other things require funding. But quite a bit also require inspiration. Some of the things that we think require money just require people to be ready to do. And a lot of that, we have a lot of demotivated staff.
Right.
So it's not that they don't have the talent or the ability to do, it's that they feel tired. I mean, we've just come out of an 8-month strike. Over the years, the academic community has been pauperized. So we need to start finding ways to interact with GOWN and, with the town and government, so that we start to feel more relevant. There's a lot we're doing here. So we now need to link what we do with what people want. So we're going to start bridging that gap a lot more. And there's going to be a lot of work for the Vice Chancellor, being more of an ambassador, being more of bringing that, reducing that gap. The people who will do the work are the staff. I mean, one person doesn't do the work. My job is to facilitate that process.
Okay, talking about bridging the gap now. Now, globally, the United Nations 2030 Sustainable Development Goals is to ensure increased participation of women in all stratas of management, from business to politics and even education.
Yeah.
And looking at the home front, Nigeria, we have had, giant strides of women proving themselves. We've had the late Professor Grace Williams Alele, showing she's up to the task. We've had Comfort Margaret Ekpo, and now you, Professor Folashade Ogunsola. There seems to be a bridge of including women, and there's been a shift in human resource in terms of management. How do you perceive this, and how will this guide you in your administration?
All right. First of all, let me take us a little back into history. Really, women in, I'll say, Nigerian history, very early on, pre-colonial, wasn't really a genderfied community. It was really age.
Right.
And you have the Queen Amina of Zaria, who led you have a Fusheton in Ibadan, who was a major chief. A lot of what we're seeing now came with the British, with the Victorian British, and we have assimilated it and made it ours. Even the role of women differed where they were. If you were in your father's house and you're old enough, you have a space. If you go to your husband's family, you're coming at the lower level because you met people there. Yeah. And if you think about it, I don't know about other languages, but I think it's similar. Yoruba language, for example, doesn't have a gender anything. There's nothing like sister or brother. It's my older sibling, lower sibling. So there are a lot of things we've assimilated. Mm-hmm. Now, as we have sort of moved away from the colonial, I think the women are beginning to find their voice. I'm not sure people are giving it to them. Nobody hands over anything. I think the women are taking it, and it's beginning to happen. It's difficult, and some areas will be even more difficult, especially if it becomes areas for election. Then you're going to have challenges. Now, is it just the men holding the women back? No. I think a lot of the women themselves have internalized the idea that women should not put themselves forward. Okay. And if you do make a mistake, there's a lot more pushback. And then by the very nature of women, we're pretty risk averse. We don't like to look foolish. We don't like to make mistakes. So we tend to self-censor. So even the position is there. How many of us step up? We don't. So I think hopefully my being here will encourage others to step forward and be counted, because I think we have a lot to give. we're much more, we're more about consensus. Women tend to bring people together. And I think that softer side of leadership needs to come up a little bit more. So I'm hoping that my being here will at least encourage people. I will certainly go there and pull some people up, but I hope it will also encourage people.
Well, coincidentally, this week was the International Day of the Girl Child, talking about inclusivity of women. The theme for this year is our time, our right.
Our local.
Yes. So now talking about women, what would be your advice to every female out there in terms of achieving their dreams?
Okay. And this is not mine. It's not my thought. And I tell a lot of people, because it made a great impact for me, that there's this book called The Confidence Code. Okay. And what is the confidence code? It's a time, and what is confidence? Confidence is the time between when you have an idea and the time it takes you to implement it. Now for men, it's about 30%, men, when they have an idea, when they're about 30% sure that it will work, they start implementation. Women, 100%, 150%. We will go back, we will nurture it, we will look at it. We want to be absolutely sure that it will not fail. Right. And so it takes us a long time to make decisions, and nobody's waiting for us. So my thing to women is, I think it would be a bit hard to say go down to 30%. I'm not there yet. But if by the time you're 60% sure, just start. Nothing is perfect. Even if you spend 150% thinking about it, you're just likely not to do anything. Move forward, that's one. Two, it's okay to fail. Nobody makes it every time. It's okay. And I think the more of us that are there supporting each other, it will become easier for women to fail. Because really, when women make mistakes in the sort of positions like this, there's a lot more pushback, because there's a belief that, well, we didn't really expect much from her anyway. So rather than it being a mistake, they'll say, we knew it. And I think it can be daunting. I think I crossed that bridge when I was provost. It was something I had to decide. Was I ready to take the kind of pushback that may occur when I misstep? I thought about it, and I think my inspiration came from Bill Clinton. After the Monica Lewinsky thing, it's still one of the most popular. Yes. So in the end, on the long run, what you really do, the good things you do count. At the time the bad thing is happening, it might appear to be everything. But over time, people remember what you've done. So I think I'll just tell the women, don't be so scared. Everybody fails.
All right, it's still a news review on UNILAG TV. We'll take a short break and we will be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, it is a special edition of the news review on UNILAG TV. If you're just joining us, please follow us across all our social media platforms at UNILAG on TV. Like I said earlier, we're speaking with the first female Vice Chancellor of University of Lagos, Professor Folashade Ogunsola. Now let's go back to questions, ma'am. Yes. There seems to be a spike in brain drain of our talents here in Nigeria. What's your reaction to the Western world plunging into our pool of human resources?
I don't know whether I would say they're plunging. I think we've created the environment for people to fly. Okay. I don't think we have fully supported our professionals, our academics, people in those kind of, if the situation is really dire. Right now, inflation is galloping, salaries are low. Even for those who are in entrepreneurship, how easy is it to get capital to flourish? People develop things. What policies are in place to ensure that government or that we buy from those things that are made in Nigeria? And then finally, Nigerians ourselves, we're so focused on what's happening in the G7. We don't appreciate things that are improving. We're the worst when it comes to, saying things down, saying things about what's not going well. We're not very good at saying, on commending small effort.
Right.
And so it's a very discouraging environment, and it's pretty bleak. And the young of today, they're very mobile. They're more about quality of life. They're not about, it's not about loyalty and it's a small world. The world has really gone global. So they're going to go where the quality of life is going to improve. And people will benefit from it. If our quality of life was great, no Western world can come and take it. It's because we have not made this place comfortable.
Right.
So the thing is, what does the future hold for the young person staying here? Even for the older person. I mean, people have invested, and it's almost as though you're on a treadmill.
Right.
It just never gets better. Every time your survival is just, should I say strike away?
Well, let me follow your thought process.
Yes.
What then would be your recommendation to making this place a friendly environment such that we don't have that spike in number of people leaving?
I think our leadership has to rethink this Nigerian thing. Right now, we don't give enough credence or importance to the things that really matter. I think we've lost our way in terms of the quality of life, and the rules and the policies we make are not really meant to make life better for everybody. And I think we need to really sit down as a country to see how we get this done. That's one. But for us to address that, I'm a believer in the restructuring in the sense that we're over-centralized. There is nowhere in the world, whether within a business or in a country, where everything starts from one place and then it never trickles. We need to allow people to put their talent to work. And then we need to have leadership closer to the people. Then they can be held accountable. But right now, I don't know. I don't think one person can solve this problem. And as a country, we need to get back together.
Well,
to speak.
On a lighter note, you seem to have so many firsts around you. You were the first female provost of the College of Medicine, the first female deputy vice chancellor, University of Lagos, the first female acting vice chancellor, University of Lagos, and now recently, the first female vice chancellor, University of Lagos. Are there any more firsts we should expect?
Well, I hope that by the time I finish here, I should be resting. I'll be close to retirement. And I think I will just take life a little more easy.
Right.
So right now, I never planned to be first. Yes. I think that's providence. But I suspect that by the time I'm done with the UNILAG project, which is probably the hugest I will take, I will need a break.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. First female Vice Chancellor, University of Lagos, Professor Folashade Ogunsola.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
And that's our show for today on News Review. My name is Adibola Adeduba. Bye for now.